in the sky.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Named the dog Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in pints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my trailer-watching Star Wars friend. It's Frank. How are you today?
Tim, your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
Indeed. Yes. Other things that Jedi say, but say over and over again over hundreds of years. Yes, indeed. Yeah. That's why they got in trouble, Frank, because they keep saying the same thing, but nobody actually listens to their own advice.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the deal. Anyway, Frank, we're here to talk about Star Wars, The Acolyte, the trailer that dropped pretty recently, as of, well, today, tomorrow, next week, yesterday. What is time? And so
recently.
Yes. There's a word. Yes.
Recently.
Indeed. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. But first, Frank, you're going to tell me what you're drinking. What are you drinking?
I'm kicking back with a Corona, my dude. I'm just enjoying a Corona. You know, it's just,
with a good
just
Corona.
one of those nights.
You know, did you? I remember when COVID was coming around and people were like, "Don't drink Corona." It's coronavirus, and their stock fell. And I remember going out with some colleagues before the world shut down. Like they were like, "Go home." The world shut down. We're like, "Well, we're going to go out one last time for 2 weeks," and then, but we had Coronas. I'll remember this. Like we were like, "We're doing it. It might be in this beer, but we don't know."
Little did
anyway,
I think I saw you the day before that.
Did you? Really?
We met up at a Panera.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's right.
It was a day or two before that. You were the last person I hung out with.
Yes, I did know that you were the last person that I hung out with, like that were not like work people.
Apart from work people, yeah.
Yeah, but I had completely forgotten about the Panera and like when that was, because I was just used to. I was used to like the filtered dad. Like I don't hang out with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what is time?
Yeah.
Frank, I am drinking a Shipyard Pumpkin, which is completely out of season, but it's delicious all the same. So I don't really care. So something really defined. Speaking of like defiance, is really something like defiant about drinking a beer off season.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why you have stouts in July. Like just like feels,
see,
yeah. Like,
sometimes it's just nice. Like it's just
Sometimes
that's
it's
really
just
all
nice.
it is. Is like I don't know. It's like it's not seasonal, but I'm enjoying it. It's a little taste of winter or whatever.
I'm like outside and it's like a slightly cool summer night. You're by a fire. Stout's way to go. Like I don't want a light and crisp at that point. I only want the light and crisp if it's hot out.
Well, yeah. I mean, like when we go up to camp, which is what us New Englanders say. When we go up to hang out by a lake, like in the sun, absolutely. I'm having like a PBR.
Sure, absolutely, right. Yeah. Do you like PBR?
Does anybody like PBR?
No. Okay. I think.
Okay.
I feel like that's the answer I needed to.
Yeah.
Like yes, of course, the king of all beers. Like,
hey, it won a blue ribbon for a reason.
Yeah. By who? Who gave it that ribbon?
It was a very prestigious award.
It was won. It's on the can.
150 years ago or something.
It was on the can. Like the lost art of ribbon folding. We don't know how they did it. Like we can't do that again.
Can't. Yeah,
incredible. Speaking of things that were lost and are found again, Star Wars: The Acolyte, a show that's coming out June 4th, dropping 2 episodes. Takes place I think it's like 80 years before Phantom Menace. I think it's supposed to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes place during the era of the High Republic, where the Sith are not a thing. The Jedi fight pirates. and so forth, but the show is supposed to be about the re-emergence of the Sith, in some particular fashion, because like as we know, Mace Windu is very clear about whether the Sith are back or not, and he's like, they're not. Like, we would know, everyone, if they were back.
Settle down. We would know. It's fine.
We
it's
would
fine.
know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And so I am looking forward to this. I do know that the showrunner, she did Russian Doll on Netflix. Is that the show?
I believe so.
Yeah. She said that like they wanted a show from the perspective of the Sith, or from the perspective of the villains. Lucasfilm did, and she said, "Oh well, you should do when they're outnumbered, like during the High Republic, because that would be like technically they're the underdogs.
Sure.
So it'd be it's easier to root for the underdog even when they're bad."
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite insightful, and that was enough for me to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in. I'm doing it." Like, yeah.
Yeah, coming from Leslie Headland.
That's her name. Thank you.
I think because I really enjoyed Russian Doll, and I feel like the success of Andor makes me feel like a show from a creator like her could really, really be a big hit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Especially one that is like we dance around the Jedi a lot at Lucasfilm, like since the saga is or the sequel trilogy is over.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ahsoka was like our first like real like entry point again into Jedi. And so, but like when it's like, here's one Jedi and another Jedi, this is like, here's 7 Jedi with their yellow lightsabers.
Yes.
And we're just going to have a good time. I'm very excited.
There's a couple of things. So I got excited about this show exactly 9 minutes ago.
Okay.
Before 9 minutes ago, I was like
2 minutes for you to watch it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Before 9 minutes ago, now 10 minutes ago, I didn't really understand what this show was about, other than like what I had heard when it was announced. But I didn't really have a good picture in my mind's eye of what it was about. But now seeing a trailer, I'm like, okay, now I see it, now I get it, and now I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about it very suddenly.
Now, what's interesting about this trailer is that we know that the show is supposed to be from the perspective of the Sith or bad guys with the dark side, whatever, Dark Jedi. But like, they're not the focal point of the trailer, right? And they're not our point of entry characters. So, like, it is an interesting way to cut a trailer in a show, because like they're showing us the thing we know. Right, we know Jedi, we know Padawans, and they're like, and the Master is talking to them. That's Master Soul, for those of you who are keeping track. SOL. I watched it with closed captioning on, and it told me a lot of information. For instance, that's Master Soul, the guy that he talks to. That's like, I saw darkness, or I saw evil, or I saw whatever that guy said. It said that he was a prisoner. And so I was like, well, I guess that thing we saw just before we saw that guy is a prison. Like,
there you go.
See, things like that you learn from closed captioning. It's called spoilers, Frank. You learn spoilers.
Well, spoilers or useful insights.
It's true. Well, sometimes closed captioning can be like, Joe dies.
Oh yeah, it can
goes off
it does.
Or whatever, and you're like, oh no.
It will sometimes. Yeah. I have seen it where like it will say a character's name when you're not even supposed to know who that is yet.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And it's like, well, now, but I know who it is. So
Liam Neeson shows up on screen in Batman Begins, and it's like Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yes, like exactly that kind of thing.
You're like, you messed it.
I have had that happen. So
yeah, you messed it up. What were some of the things that stood out to you in this trailer where you were like, ooh, I would like to know more about that one, please?
Yeah. Okay. So the Wookiee honestly.
Jedi Master Kanaka, I think his name is. I'm not looking. I looked it up earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it now, but I'm pretty sure it's Jedi Master Kanaka.
Okay.
A great Wookiee name if there ever was one.
Yes.
He's an Akka.
All I remember, I remember hearing that it's Jonas, the guy who plays Chewie.
Yes. I forgot about that, actually. Yeah. I like that guy. Glad he's back. Glad he's playing a Wookiee again.
Yes.
I guess.
He is the like successor to Peter Mayhew in so many ways.
Absolutely. There's one shot of a green Jedi. I don't know if you saw her or not. She is in the High Republic. Hold on, I'm actually going to use my one lookup for this.
Okay. Wow.
Because it's important.
Well, that seems worth it. I was, while you're looking that up, I was excited by a lot of the casting. Actually, like, we mentioned Jonas, but like Soul is Master Soul is from Squid Game, and
is he?
Yeah, and you have Carrie-Anne Moss. I'm excited. Manny Jacinto from The Good Place. Yeah, so there's some really, really great names attached to this. Obviously, Leslie Headland at the top, running the thing.
Did you say Carrie-Anne Moss? I wasn't listening.
Yes, Carrie-Anne Moss. Yes.
Yeah, she's got a great "don't mess with me" face.
Oh yeah,
like like the eyebrow arc is just like it's top notch. Oh my gosh!
But I do like that entry point of like, it's like the trailer is literally saying, this story, but we're going to tell you that story over there. Like literally the trailer is directing you as to like, hey, here's the part you're familiar with, but this is actually a story about that shadowy figure way up there on that rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Come on. What's his name? Oh my gosh. Don't tell
Darth
me.
Maul?
No. Have you ever heard the tale of
Obi-Wan?
Jedi Master Sifo?
Oh, Sifo Dyas. Yeah.
No, Sifo Dyas was around
For the clones.
For the clones, so this is too far away. No, my gosh. Palpatine's master.
But what if it's Sifo Dyas is alive, but he hasn't done that yet?
I'm not talking about. Yoda's alive, so it's very possible.
Yoda's alive, which I'm. But like, is Mace Windu alive?
I don't think so.
I don't know how long. Where he's from and how long people live there.
Years before the Phantom Menace, I think Mace Windu is just like a regularly aged person. So like he's in his 40s.
But what if he's not? Menace? We don't know that.
That's true. We don't know that. You're right. I don't know that for sure.
We don't know that he's
Darth
just a regular.
Plagueis. Wow.
Oh, Darth Plagueis. Yeah,
I don't know why
sure.
you weren't helping me there at all.
I have ADHD.
Got distracted. You're looking too busy worrying about how old Mace Windu is in his age of rate.
A little bit.
But that's okay. That Green Jedi is Venestra Rowe, who is the youngest person to ever become a Jedi.
Oh.
She became a Jedi Knight when she was 15. And she also has a purple lightsaber, like Mace Windu.
Is she from Clone Wars? What's she from?
She's from the High Republic.
She's from the High Republic.
Yeah,
okay.
So all these characters are, some of them, I think that most of them are new to the show, or to the High Republic. They're original to the show, except for her, where she's just a kid in what you follow as the High Republic now, but she's clear, like she's a full adult then, and she has a purple lightsaber, and she uses the Force to make it into a lightsaber whip.
Love that.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I don't know. I do think that like I am excited to watch it, but like it did feel lacking to me in some way, and I can't exactly put my finger on why. I was kind of like I'm excited, but like, yeah, I'm excited. It might be because this is going to sound stupid. It feels like Star Wars.
It does feel like Star Wars.
and which is good, a good thing. I want it to feel like Star Wars, but like it's just like I think it's more like it's just what they showed me. They're like, here's a CD bar, here are Jedi in the temple, and like I have seen these things, especially CD bars, quite frequently, and I just like it. I just kind of like would like to see other things.
Sure,
too. That would be, but I also understand it's a trailer and not a full thing. Like Andor showed me new things too, but it didn't show me them in the trailer. So
exactly, yeah.
I'm not going to be like, wow, there's just a whiteboard, kind of show.
Sure,
different and whatever.
Sure.
I can say that after the show is completed, maybe, but I really don't think it's going to do that. So
I'm with you. Yeah,
I do think they're going for a slightly more mature audience based on the first poster that came out.
Yeah.
Where, like the lightsaber is the lightsaber hilt, but then like the light itself, the blade is a streak of red blood.
Yeah.
Like that was a rather intense.
It is
Star Wars.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Even just in the, like, yes, it's obviously it's like, oh, blood. Like that's like a, there's that, but then there's also like that would just go over kids' heads, like it's really squarely targeted at like this is for the grown-ups.
Yeah, but Andor is for the grown-ups, and so
exactly,
like that's okay. I think they know their audience is a little bit older now.
Yes,
which is fine. The problem with that is that I do think like Star Wars is for kids. Like that was like the genius of George Lucas, that he never really lost sight of that. Like,
yes,
it is for kids. Like, and like, that's why it took 20 years for people to adults to be like, no, the prequels, I liked them.
Yeah.
Kids when they saw them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and the same thing is going to happen with the sequel trilogy. They're going to go like, no, I liked them because they saw them when they were kids. And it's just going to keep going like that. So if Lucasfilm or Disney actually does feed into the it's for adult crowd too much, they are actually going to lose what makes Star Wars special, is that it is available for the next generation.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I do think that it's essential that is preserved somewhere. And I think that personally, I think it's okay to have extensions of the universe that are more adult in nature, as long as the core of it remains, kid friendly.
Correct.
And I feel like Filoni and Favreau are sort of spearheading that, because like that is still,
that's core Star Wars,
preteen friendly, right? Like that's still,
you can watch. I don't know. You can watch The Mandalorian. You can watch Ahsoka at age 8, 9, 10.
Yes.
11. You don't have to worry about putting it on as a parent and going, ooh, I really didn't want them to see something like that.
Yes.
Which actually, but in Star Wars proper, you actually, in some ways, do have to worry about stuff like that sometimes. Like people get dismembered.
Sure, yes.
Heads, all the time. Whatever. So you do have to, there is something in Star Wars you have to no, well, it is still violent. They are at war,
right,
most of the time, and so it is cartoonish violence in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there's no blood, but there's rarity of blood. Apart from episode 4, and 1, is there blood in Star Wars? Because when Ponda Baba loses his arm, there's blood on the ground.
That one I got. Which one is in?
And in episode 1, when Obi-Wan slashes Darth Maul in half, there's a spray of blood. Blood that comes up.
Right. Revenge of the Sith must have some, no?
I don't think it does. I think people get bonked on the head and,
Order 66. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right. It might just be those.
I think it's a bloodless movie.
Now, I think that
sure
we see Rey draw blood at some point.
Yes, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that's also a good question.
I don't know.
because I wasn't watching those movies with like that.
Well,
that in mind.
I mean, Ben gets stabbed in the stomach.
Sure. Yeah, but but do you see blood though? See, like that's really like because like people
I feel like we see
like Obi-Wan gets stabbed. I mean,
we see the wound, don't we?
Gets stabbed, and you don't see. There's nothing there.
We see the wound, don't we? Like when she heals it.
You do see the wound. That's true. I'll count that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will count an open wound the same way. Like you don't see Luke's open wound when his hand gets cut off, right? You know,
right? You just see, you just see the stub. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, so 3 instances, like 1 per trilogy.
Right, basically, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so like there are instances where you could say like, well, that's a little bit that is a stylistic choice that is a little bit more adult. So I am curious how like not kid friendly the Acolyte is going to be, but it like leads you to assume based on that more the poster than the trailer.
Yeah,
that it's not going to be. But I don't know. It does look like it's going to be a good mystery. You know, like it's going to be it's going to be a lot of, if anything, it feels like it's going to be a lot of dramatic irony where like the audience is going to know something and the some characters are going to know something, but the Jedi are going to be abysmally ignorant to what is going on, which is pretty par for the course for the Jedi.
Correct.
Right? Because this is supposed to be the start of their decline.
Yes. It's one of those situations where you know the outcome already. Like, you know that they are going to...
We know the Titanic is going to sink.
Yeah.
And Mace Windu is going to be the guy that's like, this ship can't sink.
Yes, he's the one saying it's unsinkable.
Yeah. But is it? It is not.
I don't know.
As we know. And so I am curious, almost from like a political perspective on that, because I like, even when I was a kid, I liked the politics of Star Wars. So I would love to see the politics of the Jedi at play here, you know, because that was in some ways, even in episode 1, that's part of the interesting thing is like Qui-Gon not wanting to play politics with the council. And so he just goes and does his own thing, you know, and the negotiation that happens behind the scenes. Like I would like to see that when the Jedi are really in their heyday, not in the arrogant heyday, right? Because I think that's an important part to differentiate. Like the Jedi have reached the height of arrogance when we meet them in episode 1.
And I would argue the heyday was over at that point.
Correct. And I think so. This is the decline of the heyday.
You
know,
the beginning of the end.
This is the beginning of the end, right? Smashing Pumpkins said it better than everybody. So
Shipyard Smashing Pumpkin.
Yeah. There's something there, Frank. You should be a marketer or something.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm definitely curious to see more. Are you Star Wars'd out? Here's my next question. I say with like a Star Wars display sitting right behind you.
Yeah, I'd have to say no on that. On Star Wars out.
That's a negative, Bob.
I don't think so. But I will say this: I would have been a few months ago. I think that putting some breathing room between these shows, and admittedly, I didn't watch Bad Batch, so there is sort of the if you're watching Bad Batch, then you're going from one to the next to the next.
It's so funny that you said that. Just the other day, I was like, right, that's a show.
Yeah.
I'll skip around. I'll be like, are there any ones about the politics of stormtroopers? I'll watch that one, and then
It hasn't been for me so far, and that's not that's fine.
Well, I don't think you're alone there.
I
don't really think it was for many people.
I know, but that's on. But I've taken some breathing room since Ahsoka, and I'm like, all right, I've had some time. I'm good. I'm ready for some new Star Wars in my heart now.
Yeah. I'm ready for some new Star Wars into my heart. Come flooding right in.
Yes. I stand here heart open wide. Please.
I would like to know, in terms of the Acolyte, how much Daphne Keane has to play.
Oh, yes.
In there, because she's in there. I can't remember her character name, nor will I look it up. But she was good in Logan. That's all I got. Here's the thing, though. I also want to go back to showrunner in the interview, she said that there's a couple of Legends things, like old school stuff, expanded universe stuff, that she was like, that she took for the show, because she said nobody told me I couldn't.
Nice.
So it's in there. Because she said, like, you know, people grow up on the movies and whatever else. She's like, I grew up playing the games, like a lot of, like, doing the expanded universe and like the Knights of the Old Republic and the the tabletops, and like she's like, that's where my real
West End
Star
games.
Wars fandom is. So her sense of like Star Wars sensibility is like slightly different, which I like, because maybe it won't feel like a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's really what I'm concerned about, that it's going to feel hollow. It's like, because when people like do Star Wars instead of like taking the Jon Favreau Filoni approach, we're doing the things that influence Star Wars in Star Wars.
Sure.
Right. Because that's when Star Wars is at its highest quality. Like, we're doing, space adventure and samurai and Western and all Dirty Dozen and like all these different things. Like, that's more interesting than like, here's Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's because it's not what good Star Wars really is.
Yes. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add, Frank?
Who do you think the mysterious shadowy figure we saw is?
I'm hoping it's Darth Plagueis. I don't think that it is, but that's what I'm hoping. That's who I'm hoping that it is. They're too short to be Darth Plagueis, so like I don't think it's actually that.
Too short to be a stormtrooper.
Too short for a stormtrooper. Yeah, I agree. Now here's my other thing. Like, 80 years before Phantom Menace.
Yes.
How old is Palpatine?
Yeah. There's that.
How old is he really? I don't know. I'm sure there might be an answer out there that the show will change. Here's the thing. Like, whatever information exists out there in a book or a thing, as soon as a new show comes out, it has the ability to change these things.
That's right. Yeah.
The show ultimately, a new show or a movie ultimately drives the canon.
It supersedes anything. That's always been the case. They've always said, George always said that, like, sure, whatever, like that stuff is whatever it is, but like what I make is the canon.
Correct.
And I think that still holds true here.
Absolutely. If it's a show or a movie, then it counts. So I wouldn't mind if it's him either, because I do think that would be that's also an interesting entrance point for an audience. But I'm fine for it being somebody totally new too, that I'm not connected to.
To me, it looks like Darth Maul. Like, it looks like Darth Maul to me. And that doesn't make sense in the timeline unless he's a lot older than we thought or whatever. But it looks.
It could be somebody from Dathomir, though.
It could be. It could be another. Yes, it could be another Dathomirian. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Why do you say it looks like Darth Maul?
Like, I mean, the stature, when we see him for the first time in Phantom Menace, right? He's wearing like those heavy robes, and yes, he has his hood up. But like when he takes it down for the first time, I think that shadowy figure on the cliff or whatever is kind of what his silhouette looks like. It even kind of looks like there might be like spikes on the head.
I'm gonna have to go back.
So I'm not saying for sure it is. I haven't done any, I didn't use my one lookup, so I'm not looking at it side by side. I'm just doing this from memory, and it kind of resembles to me when I zoom in. Literally, I'm just looking at the YouTube clip and zooming in on it. It does look like him to me. So like that's what it looked like. But again, I don't know what the explanation for that would be, so it doesn't seem to make sense.
It could want to evoke those things.
Yeah.
Like I think like sometimes the Star Wars is like poetry, right? The whole thing, like it rhymes. So like it wants you to, it wants you to think of Darth Maul, even if
could be
not what it is.
Could be. Yeah. Anyway, that's my mind started going there, but Plagueis makes more sense. Plagueis or Palpatine makes more sense.
That figure is really. I'm looking at it now. That figure's really short.
Yeah, and so is Ray Park.
Oh, you got him.
No, it's true though. That's he's a short guy. He's an amazing athlete and everything, but he's not a very tall man, and that's true of of his character too.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Maul's not a super tall guy.
Spikes. Maybe it's a kid.
That'd be an interesting.
Maybe it's for Nestor Rowe. Who knows? Because they kind of look bald to me, but I don't know. Who knows, Frank? It's very interesting.
We'll find out.
I'm excited for it. June 4th. We won't talk about it then because we probably won't have watched it.
We'll wait till the season's over.
We'll wait till the season's over.
Interesting that it's June the 4th, not May the 4th. I wonder if they were like shooting for a May release and couldn't hit it, or they wanted to give more space from the end of Bad Batch.
More closely related to the summer,
Mm-hmm.
Or Disney Plus has something else that's coming around that time that they don't want things conflicting with one another.
Right,
so.
a Marvel show maybe. I don't even know.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any Marvel shows coming.
Okay, well, but yeah, you're right. It could be something else that they want to give space for. Yeah.
Who knows?
Interesting.
But anyway, Frank, where can the people find us?
beerwithgeeks.com, patreon.com/beerwithgeeks, and wherever you listen to your podcasts, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Oh, very good. Frank, a pleasure to talk Star Wars with you. Always.
Always.
So anyway, the Force will be with you always. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.